Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Norwich Talk for some more transfer rumours. Rumour. Yeah, it's just the one. Norwich have been linked with Christos Zolis. They don't make it easy with the names, do they? I think this one is. I'm fairly confident in saying Christos Zolis. Zolis. I'm going to say Zolis, right? That's what I'm going with. A very, very exciting potential transfer for a lot of money, it seems. This is a guy who's been linked with the likes of Man United and Borussia Dortmund, which I think might make a few people think twice about how realistic this signing is and how likely it is to happen. A lot of the Norwich City media outlets are going with it in terms of reporting it, and usually when a transfer rumour isn't true, they tend to leave it alone. You usually just see sort of, I think, the pink and go for it, but a few of them seem to be going for it, so I thought, why not make a little player profile video? Again, it's a very interesting, a very exciting player, so I thought I'd make a little profile, and when I say little profile, I mean that quite literally. There really isn't that much data available that I could find very quickly for you for this video. It's enough to go by, it's enough to get excited by, but it's not actually that much, so this should be shorter than usual, although I always say that and end up going on for another 10 minutes. But first of all, let's just get this out in the air. He plays for PAOK, and I want to address the way I pronounced it when Dimitris Yanoulis joined Norwich, because a lot of Greek people watch the videos, a lot of PAOK fans. I assume there'll be a few more. So hello, welcome back to the channel if you're watching. And I call them PAOK instead of PAOK. So I'd like to apologise for that. I genuinely just cringe at the thought of calling it that rather than PAOK, so I can only apologise. But that leads us nicely into the profile. He plays for PAOK in the Super League 1. I never knew there was a 1 on the end of it. That's the top flight of Greek football. He's 19 years old. He's a Greek international. He's a left winger, although on transfer market, which is pretty decent for positions, some other stuff it's sometimes a bit dodgy, but for positions he sort of plays across the front three predominantly in that left wing position. He's right footed and he's 5'7", so he's quite small. As I've already said, he plays for PAOK. I don't think he actually played with Yanoulis. We might have at the beginning of the season because Yanoulis joined in January, so he's potentially a former teammate of Yanoulis. So you'd think that he'd maybe recommend Norwich in glowing colours, really, because what Yanoulis' Norwich City career so far has been brilliant, hasn't it? Joined, get promoted, win the league. So hopefully that is a factor or a pull factor for Zolis. He's got 3 years left on his contract, so it runs until June 2024, which is why I think we'll get into the fee towards the end is as high as it is, as well as the fact that he's obviously young. So in terms of PAOK, they should get good money for him. I know on the Yanoulis video, a lot of people said that PAOK needed the money, so that situation could still be the same. Again, contributing to maybe a cheaper signing, but again, 3 years left on his contract, so that'll have no real influence on the price in terms of lowering it. Over this season just gone, so the 2020-2021 season, overall, he played 42 games. Now, this was in, I think, 5 or 6 competitions, scoring 16 goals, getting 10 assists. 25 of those games came in the league with 6 goals. And again, here comes the dodgy stat sites. One said 6 assists, one said 4 assists. It doesn't really matter. They're near enough the same, I guess. There's only 2 difference, really. But I think that's really impressive for your first season in top flight football. Make of it what you will in terms of the quality of the league. Although, again, to reference Yanoulis, I'll be saying his name a few more times this video. Quite clearly, there are very decent players in Greece. I've just seen it's absolutely started to thunder it down outside, so that's not particularly pleasant. 5 of those games came in the Europa League with 3 goals and 2 assists, which I think is remarkable in 5 games. We always talk about the value of that experience. I mean, just being on the bench in that sort of atmosphere is good for a player, but he's played in 5 games, and again, to back it up, 3 goals, 2 assists is really, really good. He's also played in the Champions League qualifying process, and I think he played 4 games in that. So 9 games in Europe for a 19-year-old lad. He was 19 this year in January. Is really, really impressive. So he's definitely a player of high pedigree. He's represented Greece, so the first team, since October 2020. Played 8 times, scoring 1 goal. Again, representing your country is, I mean, I don't care where you come from. It's impressive, isn't it? Because to be technically one of the best players from your own country means you must be decent, right? Surely. And we've seen that Greece have some quality players. Again, Unulis. So yeah, for a 19-year-old lad, he's played quite a lot, which I think is really, really quite impressive. And I think you will too. And I think that's why a lot of people are getting excited about it. I looked on Twitter. I am fresh out of the shower, by the way. And I looked at Twitter and I saw this guy. And I saw everyone getting excited for a good reason. And I looked up his stats and thought, oh, right, it makes a lot of sense now. To wrap up the video, he's been linked with Manchester United, Borussia Dortmund. I think I saw AC Milan as well. In March, at the end of March, there was an article saying United are pondering a £17 million move for him. I think that one's fairly unlikely. And as of today, I'm reading £10 million. Whether that's up front, I don't know. In terms of reaching double figures, I think the way Norwich operate, and I think it's well known, is Norwich like to go. It kind of depends on the player, but it's usually a few million less than double figures with add-ons, providing the player is decent and achieves those add-ons, which will then take it into double figures. That's just the Norwich way. That's the Webber way, isn't it? With transfers. Finally, my thoughts. I'm not going to lie to you. After the fairly depressing week we've had in terms of transfer rumours, not so much transfers because obviously Les Malou came in. I was very happy with that. It's been kind of a miserable one. Aya went to Brentford. It was reported that Billing was set to snub a move to Norwich City, which I'm not really fussed about. I was never convinced in terms of whether I wanted to pay, or I wanted Norwich to pay double figures for him. Norwich are in desperate need of a few more positions, and I think after I don't know, the Farker contract interview, I don't know if it was an interview, it was a press conference, whatever it was, Webber went into a bit more detail about the transfer plan, didn't he? So there's definitely more to come. There's been a lot of sort of uncertainty within the NCFC sphere, especially on Twitter. When I say the NCFC sphere, I always mean Twitter, because that's usually what I look at. You don't look at Facebook for reasonable thoughts, do you? No offense to anyone who uses Facebook, but you know what I mean if you do use Facebook anyway. I really would like Norwich to sign Tzolis. I'm not going to lie to you. We are in need of another winger. We brought in Rashid, so that's brilliant. He's going to take his time to adapt, as will Tzolis, but I don't think Cantwell and Rashica, I guess, are the two wide players. Oh, and Poeta and Hernandez. I'm writing them two off completely for next season. I thought Poeta was decent in left back. Hopefully he never plays there again. I really don't see him having a future at Norwich City. That's just sort of the brutal reality of it. But Cantwell and Rashica aren't enough to keep you up. That is no disrespect. That's no sort of diminishing their quality. They are. Cantwell especially is fantastic. Really, really good player. But that's not enough to keep you up, barring injuries, form, confidence, everything like that. So another winger who, this guy, Zolis, would absolutely be a first-team signing. Let's not get that wrong. He may have only turned 19 this year, but the amount of first-team games he's played at the top flight of Greek football, he's represented his country, suggests he would really be a very, very good first-team signing. I'd like to see Norwich sign him. I think the next time you'll see me, as well as Sam, maybe Alf, will be in a podcast. I've been pondering when to do this because I wanted some positive news, and this could be the trigger for the podcast, because we want to have a chat about Norwich's recruitment method, because there was a Sexy Bennett tweet, wasn't there? Now, I don't follow them, but I was shown a tweet which said, I think it was Norwich on their C-list transfer targets, which made a few people panic. It didn't really make me panic, but that's because I'm kind of docile to the situation. If Norwich are looking at a player, it must mean they're quite good, in their opinion. I don't believe in the whole grading system representing how good the player actually is. I think it's probably just to do with price. The most expensive players are the higher grade players. I mean, it's quite simple to me. We know that Norwich can get very good players for very cheap, but we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about this, and again, just the whole. That's it as well. I wanted to talk about what Stuart Webber said about the BK8 deal, because that's all very interesting stuff. But that is when you'll see me next. If you enjoyed this video, if you enjoy these player profiles, perhaps consider subscribing, leaving a like on the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, right? That's why I make these videos. I make these videos because I want to engage with you. I want to talk to you about these players. If you're a PAOK fan, let me know. Let me know what you think of this guy. I'm sure there'll be quite a few glowing reviews. But until next time, cheerio.